Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. A detailed exploration. Pride and Prejudice, penned by Jane Austen and published in 1813, is a classic novel that transcends time, offering readers a nuanced portrayal of love, societal expectations, and personal growth, set against the backdrop of early 19th century England in the fictional town of Meryton. The narrative centers around the Bennet family, Mr. and Mrs. Bennet and their 5 daughters, Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Kitty, and Lydia. The novel's opening introduces Mr. Charles Bingley, a wealthy and amiable bachelor, and his friend Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy, a reserved and seemingly proud gentleman. The Bennet family, particularly Mrs. Bennet, eagerly anticipates a match between Bingley and one of her daughters, especially Jane, the eldest and most beautiful. However, it is the complex dynamics between Elizabeth Bennet, known for her intelligence and wit, and Mr. Darcy that forms the heart of the story. Austen's narrative artistry is evident from the outset, with the memorable Meryton ball serving as a microcosm of societal intricacies. Initial impressions are formed, and tensions arise between Elizabeth's spirited independence and Darcy's perceived pride. Austen's keen observations and witty characterizations come to life as Elizabeth overhears Darcy speaking ill of her, solidifying her unfavorable opinion of him. Simultaneously, her vivacity and intelligence leave a lasting impression on the reserved Darcy. The plot deepens with the introduction of Mr. George Wickham, a charming officer who claims mistreatment by Mr. Darcy. Wickham's interactions with Elizabeth fuel her negative perception of Darcy, adding layers to the web of misunderstandings and misjudgments. Meanwhile, Mr. Collins, the Bennet family's heir, arrives at Longbourn, announcing his intention to marry one of the Bennet sisters to secure their financial future. His proposal to Elizabeth is thwarted, leading him to marry her close friend, Charlotte Lucas. The departure of the Bingley and Darcy party from Netherfield, particularly without a proposal to Jane, leaves the Bennet family in disarray. Jane is heartbroken, and Elizabeth's disdain for Darcy intensifies when she learns of his role in separating Jane and Mr. Bingley. As societal intricacies unfold, the novel shifts to Hunsford, where Elizabeth visits Charlotte and her new husband, and Darcy unexpectedly reappears. In an unexpected turn of events, Darcy proposes to Elizabeth, revealing his deep love for her. However, his proposal is marred by his pride and apparent disdain for her family. Elizabeth staunchly refuses, confronting Darcy about his role in Jane and Mr. Bingley's separation and Wickham's grievances. Darcy, while defending his actions, is taken aback by Elizabeth's candor. The narrative reaches a pivotal moment when Elizabeth receives a letter from Darcy, explaining his side of the story and revealing Wickham's true character. This epistolary revelation, coupled with Darcy's continued kindness and generosity, prompts Elizabeth to reassess her judgments. The novel takes a dramatic turn when Lydia, the youngest Bennet sister, elopes with Wickham, threatening the family's reputation. Darcy's intervention to resolve Lydia's scandal, including arranging her marriage to Wickham, showcases his commitment to Elizabeth and her family. This pivotal moment marks a turning point in Elizabeth's perception of Darcy, as she learns of his selfless actions and begins to see him in a new light. Meanwhile, Bingley returns to Netherfield, and his renewed attentions to Jane revive their romance. The novel continues its exploration of love, self-awareness, and societal expectations as Elizabeth returns to Longbourn, her family's estate. With the re-entry of Darcy into her life, their interactions take on a new tenor. Both characters, having undergone significant personal growth, navigate the complexities of their feelings and societal norms. As the narrative unfolds, Bingley and Darcy's return to Netherfield brings with it a renewed focus on Jane. Bingley's attentions revive their romance, and the obstacles that once hindered their relationship begin to dissipate. Jane's gentle and amiable nature contrasts sharply with Elizabeth's wit and independence, creating a delightful parallel between the two sisters' love stories. Meanwhile, Darcy's interactions with Elizabeth become increasingly cordial, The tension that marked their earlier encounters transforms into a nuanced understanding. Darcy's continued displays of kindness and generosity, combined with Elizabeth's evolving perceptions, pave the way for a more profound connection between the two characters. In a final twist of fate, Bingley and Darcy formally propose to Jane and Elizabeth, respectively. These proposals mark the climax of the novel, symbolizing the triumph of genuine affection over societal norms and initial misunderstandings. Jane's quiet and enduring love for Bingley, coupled with Elizabeth's newfound appreciation for Darcy's character, highlights the transformative power of self-awareness and the importance of genuine connections. The engagements of Jane and Elizabeth underscore one of the central themes of Pride and Prejudice: the transformative journey of its characters. Both sisters, guided by their distinct personalities, navigate the societal expectations that govern their lives. Jane's patience and Elizabeth's wit serve as complementary forces that challenge and ultimately transcend the constraints of their society. As the novel draws to a close, Austen masterfully weaves a resolution that is both satisfying and thought-provoking. The engagements signify not only the union of two couples, but also the triumph of love that transcends societal expectations. The societal critique that runs throughout the novel is subtly addressed, emphasizing the value of genuine connections over mere societal propriety. In essence, Pride and Prejudice stands as a testament to Jane Austen's narrative prowess, offering readers a rich tapestry of characters, societal observations, and timeless themes. As one of literature's enduring classics, the novel continues to captivate readers with its wit, humor, and profound insights into the human condition. The novel builds to its climax with Elizabeth's return to Longbourn and the re-entry of Darcy into her life. Their interactions become increasingly cordial as both characters navigate the complexities of societal expectations and personal feelings. In a final twist of fate, Bingley and Darcy propose to Jane and Elizabeth, respectively, symbolizing the triumph of genuine affection over societal norms and initial misunderstandings. Pride and Prejudice concludes with the engagements of Jane and Elizabeth, underscoring the transformative power of self-awareness and the importance of genuine love in the face of societal expectations. The novel's enduring appeal lies in Austen's astute observations of the societal norms of her time, her sharp characterizations, and her exploration of the complexities of human relationships. As a timeless classic, Pride and Prejudice continues to captivate readers with its wit, social commentary, and poignant portrayal of love and self-discovery.
The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby, by F. Scott Fitzgerald, is a classic American novel that explores themes of wealth, love, and the American dream during the Roaring Twenties. Published in 1925, the novel is set in the summer of 1922 and unfolds in the fictional towns of West Egg and East Egg on Long Island, New York. The story is narrated by Nick Carraway, a Yale graduate and World War I veteran who becomes entangled in the lives of his enigmatic neighbor, Jay Gatsby, and his cousin, Daisy Buchanan. The novel begins with Nick Carraway moving to West Egg to work in the bond business. He rents a modest house next to the extravagant mansion of Jay Gatsby, a mysterious and wealthy man known for his lavish parties. As Nick settles into his new life, he reconnects with his cousin, Daisy Buchanan, who lives in the upscale East Egg with her husband, Tom Buchanan. Tom Buchanan is a wealthy and arrogant man who exhibits a sense of entitlement and privilege. Daisy, his wife, is beautiful and charming, but there is a sense of restlessness and dissatisfaction in her marriage. Tom is having an affair with Myrtle Wilson, a working-class woman from the Valley of Ashes, an industrial wasteland between West Egg and New York City. Nick becomes a witness to the complex dynamics between Tom and Daisy, observing their troubled marriage and Tom's extramarital affairs. Through his cousin, Nick meets Jordan Baker, a professional golfer and a friend of Daisy. Jordan becomes Nick's romantic interest, and their relationship adds another layer to the intricate social fabric of the novel. The enigmatic figure of Jay Gatsby becomes a central focus of the narrative. Gatsby is known for his extravagant parties, which attract a myriad of guests from all walks of life. Despite his wealth and reputation as a mysterious and glamorous host, Gatsby remains elusive and enigmatic to those who attend his parties. Rumors circulate about his background, with some suggesting that he is the nephew of the German Kaiser. Gatsby's true identity and the source of his wealth become key mysteries that drive the narrative. As Nick becomes increasingly involved in Gatsby's life, he learns that Gatsby is in love with Daisy and that their history dates back to a romantic encounter before Daisy married Tom. Gatsby, driven by an unwavering belief in the power of wealth and the American dream, has spent years amassing his fortune in the hope of winning Daisy back. Nick serves as the intermediary between Gatsby and Daisy, facilitating a reunion between the former lovers. The novel explores the themes of unrequited love, the corrupting influence of wealth, and the pursuit of the American dream. Gatsby's grandiose mansion, symbolizing the excesses of the Jazz Age, stands in stark contrast to the moral decay and disillusionment that lurk beneath the surface. As the narrative unfolds, tensions rise between Gatsby and Tom, with both vying for Daisy's affection. Gatsby's dreams of a future with Daisy are shattered when Tom reveals Gatsby's questionable business dealings and forces Daisy to confront the reality of her choices. The climax of the novel occurs with a tragic incident that results in the death of Myrtle Wilson, Tom's mistress. The aftermath of Myrtle's death sets off a chain of events leading to Gatsby's demise. Tom, in an act of revenge, informs Myrtle's husband, George Wilson, that Gatsby owns the car that struck and killed his wife. Consumed by grief and rage, Wilson confronts Gatsby and then takes his own life. Gatsby is found dead in his opulent mansion, the victim of George Wilson's misguided vengeance. The novel concludes with Nick reflecting on the tragic events that unfolded during that summer. He becomes disillusioned with the moral decay and superficiality of the society he has encountered, particularly within the East Coast elite. Nick returns to the Midwest, leaving behind the decadence of the East and the illusory dreams of Gatsby. The Great Gatsby is widely regarded as a critique of the American dream and the moral emptiness of the Jazz Age. The characters, especially Gatsby, embody the pursuit of wealth and success as a means of achieving happiness and social acceptance. However, Fitzgerald paints a bleak picture of this pursuit, highlighting the moral compromises and illusions that often accompany the quest for material success. The character of Gatsby himself is a complex and tragic figure. Despite his immense wealth and glamorous lifestyle, Gatsby is ultimately unable to transcend the social barriers that separate him from Daisy and the East Egg elite. His obsession with the past and his unwavering belief in the redemptive power of wealth lead to his downfall. Daisy Buchanan, too, is a symbol of the hollowness of the American dream. She is torn between the stability and wealth offered by Tom and the romantic idealism of Gatsby. Her inability to make a definitive choice and her retreat into the safety of wealth underscore the novel's critique of the superficial values that dominated the era. Tom Buchanan embodies the callousness and privilege of the upper class. His affair with Myrtle, his lack of remorse for his actions, and his ability to manipulate those around him reveal a character devoid of moral scruples. Tom's wealth and social standing shield him from the consequences of his behavior, further emphasizing the novel's exploration of the corrupting influence of wealth. The Valley of Ashes, a desolate industrial area between West Egg and New York City, serves as a metaphor for the moral and social decay of the time. The ashes represent the detritus of the American dream, the discarded dreams and aspirations of those who strive for success, but find themselves trapped in a cycle of poverty and despair. Fitzgerald's prose is both lyrical and incisive, capturing the essence of the Jazz Age with its glamour, excess, and moral ambiguity. The novel's structure, with Nick as the narrator, allows readers to navigate the complex social landscape through the eyes of an outsider. Nick's gradual disillusionment mirrors the larger themes of the novel as he becomes a witness to the moral decay that lurks beneath the surface of the American dream. The Great Gatsby remains a timeless exploration of the complexities of human nature and the elusive nature of the American dream. Its enduring relevance is reflected in its continued presence in literature curricula and its adaptation into various film and stage productions. Fitzgerald's critique of the excesses of the Jazz Age and the moral vacuum of the pursuit of wealth continues to resonate with readers, inviting reflection on the timeless themes of love, loss, and the elusive quest for a meaningful and authentic life.